Hey, how you doing? And welcome to my top 40 of 1975. These videos are a journey through my many playlists on Spotify. I've already done the top 40s of 1970 to 1974. This is 75. I'm going to go all the way through to 1991, but I have annuals for all the other years from 1925 through to the present day. Plus we have artist specials, genres, themes, loads of things. Head on over to Spotify, Cosmo Jones, Feed Your Soul, and then whatever the show may be, and your soul will be fed. So today, 1975, here's the top 40. It wasn't that great a year in the singles chart, but obviously we're going to do extras as well, and that will probably be the saving grace. The caveat for the top 40 is that the songs had to enter the UK top 40 in 1975. Here we go. Number 40, Van McCoy, The Hustle. Dip, 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 dip. 2 weeks at 3 in July of 75. By the way, all these numbers relate to the UK top 40. The Stylistics at 39, I Can't Give You Anything But Love. 3 weeks at number 1 in August of 75. 38, The Drifters, There Goes My First Love. Spent 5 weeks at 3, straddling October and November of 75. Number 37, Pilot, and January. I believe that's an Edinburgh band. Spent 3 weeks at 1 in February of 75. Maybe I'm wrong. Number 36, Leo Sayer, Moonlighting. Spent a week at 2 in February of 75. September of 75, I apologise. 35, Shirley and Company, Shame, 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 spent a week at 6 in March of 75. 34, Helen Reddy, Angie Baby, spent a week at 5 in February of 75. 33, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Get Out and Let Me Cry, spent a week at 35 in June of 75. 32, Carpenters, Only Yesterday, spent a week at 7 in May of 75. 31, ABBA, I Do. Spent a week at 38 in August of 75. Remember, this top 40 is my personal choice, but a lot of these songs, if I never hear them again, I wouldn't be that upset, but I've got to do a top 40 because all the other ones are top 40s. There's a radio show of this top 40, but it's only the top 20 because I recorded the top 40 and then it was corrupted. So when I chose to do it again, I thought, I'm not doing all that again. So I only did the top 20. Anyway, the link to this playlist is in the description as well. Into the top 30 now. Number 30, Casey and the Sunshine Band, That's the Way I Like It. Spent a week at 4 in September of 75. 29, The Eagles, One of These Nights. Spent a week at 23 in September of 75. 28, Stevie Wonder, Boogie On, Reggae Woman. Spent a week at 12 in February of 75. 27, John Lennon, Imagine. Spent 3 weeks at 6 in November of 75. Now, I was very, what's the word now? Surprised. I was very surprised that I couldn't remember the word surprise, but I was very surprised that this single was released in 75, given the album was released in 71. I don't know why, but it definitely did reach number 6 in November of 75, so that's when it was released as a single in the UK. Number 26, Johnny Nash, Tears on My Pillow, spent a week at number 1 in January of 75. ABBA at 25, Mamma Mia, spent 2 weeks at number 1, straddling January and February of 76, but it did enter the UK top 40 in 1975. 24, Glenn Campbell, Rhinestone Cowboy, spent 2 weeks at 4 in November of 75. Number 23, Bay City Rollers. That is an Edinburgh band, I know that for sure. Bye Bye Baby, spent 6 weeks at number 1, straddling March and April of 75. This was their zenith in terms of success. Casey and the Sunshine Band, Get Down Tonight, at number 22. Spent a week at 21 in April and May of 75. At number 21, Susan Cadogan, Hurt So Good. Spent 3 weeks at 4 in May of 75. Into the top 20 now. Number 20, Minnie Riperton, Lovin' You. I was about to sing it there, but neither of us want that. Neither of us? There's only one person listening. Spent 2 weeks at 2 in May of 75. Number 19, Gloria Gaynor, Never Can Say Goodbye. Spent a week at 2 in January of 75. And number 18, David Essex, Hold Me Close. Spent 3 weeks at number 1 in October of 75. Number 17, Hot Chocolate, You Sexy Thing. Spent 3 weeks at 2 in November and December of 75. And 16, Bee Gees, Jive Talkin'. Spent 2 weeks at 5 in August of 75. Number 15, Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. A week at 22 in October and November of 75. And at 14, Roxy Music, Both Ends Burning. I love Roxy Music. Spent 2 weeks at 25 only in January and February of 76. 13, David Bowie, Young Americans. Spent a week at 18 in March of 75. And at 12, Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel, Making Me Smile, Come Up and See Me. Spent 2 weeks at number 1, straddling September and October of 75. Al Green at number 11 with LOVE. Spent a week at 24 in April of 75. Time for the top 10. Number 10, John Lennon, Number 9, Dream. Spent a week at 23 in March of 75. And number 9, Desmond Dekker, Israelites. Spent a week at 10 in June of 75. And number 8, David Bowie, Fame. Spent a week at 17 in September of 75. It's really strange, because many people know David Bowie songs, but not a lot of them did that well in the charts. Strange. Number 7, ABBA, SOS. Spent 2 weeks at 6, straddling October and November of 75. And number 6, La Belle, Lady Marmalade. Spent 2 weeks at 17 in April and May of 75. Number 5, oh God, I love this song. Captain and Tennille's Love Will Keep Us Together. Spent 2 weeks at 32 only in August of 75. At number 4, Roxy Music, Love Is the Drug. Spent a week at 2 in November of 75. And at number 3, David Bowie, Golden Years. Spent 2 weeks at 8 in December of 75 and January of 76. And the top 2, indisputable. Number 2, 10cc, I'm Not in Love. Spent 2 weeks at number 1 in June and July of 75. And at number 1, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Spent 9 weeks at number 1 between October, November and December of 75 all the way into January of 76. Yowza. That's the top 40. As I said, the link to the Spotify playlist of that is in the description, and the link to the radio show of that is in the description. Now let's do 1975 extras. And the caveat for extras is that they didn't enter the UK top 40, so basically they are either album tracks or singles from other territories. And as I've said, every time I do these, I love Jamaican music from the 70s. I love Brazilian music from the 70s and the 60s. So you're going to see a lot of that, and if you listen, you'll hear a lot of that. I always recommend you listen to these playlists because the idea is that you might not know a lot of this music, and in that case, you will not be sorry if you give them a listen. You'll know some of them, obviously. Chimaya, O Caminho do Bem. That's actually from the movie City of God, so you might have heard it, Cidade de Deus. Gloria Ann Taylor, How Can You Say It? I had her in 74 extras as well. You really should give her a listen. Some amazing songs. Edson Frederico, Bobera. Roxy Music, She Sells. Claudette Suarez, Eles Querem Amar. That's a Georgie Ben song. Susan Cardigan, Do It Baby, Nice and Easy. Elio Mateos, Mais Criolla. Gloria Ann Taylor again, told you. Burning Eyes. And Hilden, Na Rua, Na Chuva, Na Fazenda, also from the album City of God. 10cc, Blackmail. You know them, obviously. Caetano Veloso, Qualquer Coisa. Cortex, La Rue, I think they're French. Di Mello, Kilario, funky Brazilian stuff. Minnie Riperton, Inside My Love, gorgeous. Nega de Obulai by Wando. And Augustus Pablo with Oregon Style. And that's from an album called Screaming Target by Big Youth. And I've no idea why, but they reissued that album with loads of extra tracks, and this is one of the extra tracks. It's not by Big Youth, but there you go, that's the album it's on. I'm sure you can hear it elsewhere as well. Next up, Deja Van, Embola Abola, Caterete. Cortex, Trope Blue, again. Cortex are very, very good. I didn't know them until I started doing these playlists. Rony e o Central do Brasil, or Rony. Achoa Achoa. Cornell Campbell, Girl of My Dreams. Deja Van again, Fatu Consumado. Deja Van's very good, give him a listen. Janice Ian at 17. It didn't hit the UK top 40, surprisingly. Even though I know it didn't, I'm still surprised. Martinho da Vila Aqualera Brasileira. Black Devil Disco Club, H-Friend, The Sparrows remix. Di Mello again, A Vida em Seus Metodos Discalma. Bee Gees, Nights on Broadway. Martinho da Vila, Andando de Banda. Pink Floyd, Have a Cigar, of course from the album Wish You Were Here. Deja Van, Muito Obrigado. Parliament, Right On, Baby Right On. Rita Lee, Cartão Postal. Michael Dyke, Saturday Night Special. Martinho da Vila, Lana Rocca, Mes de Maria. David Bowie, Fascination. Is that from Young Americans? See, I'm not looking at the screen you're looking at, so I don't know if it is, but it's probably on the screen right there. It says, yes, it is Young Americans. Maybe I'm wrong. Dejavan, Flor de Lis, Anima Hana, Aira, Ostinkaus, Jo, Minnie Riperton, Baby, This Love I Have, Dejavan, Massa, or is it pronounced Massa when it's got that thing underneath? Maca do Rosto, or Massa do Rosto. Cortex, L'Enfant Samba. I didn't realize till I was doing these lists that there's a connection between French music and Brazilian music around about this time. A lot of French artists were doing bossa nova sound sort of music, and it's nice. Very nice. I have a France playlist, and it's one of those where it has to be in different volumes because there's quite a lot. And I never mentioned those before, but there you go. Bebeto Castillo, Batuque, Lee Scratch Perry, Stay Dread, Grupo Shodo and Samba Criolla, Elio Mateos, Briguenta, Teporn Pechubon, Fangjai Fiangjan, João Bosco, Boras da Prata, and Bob James, Take Me to the Mardi Gras. That is one of the most sampled songs of all time. Bebeto, Segura Nega, Kutuka Nega, Yabiyu and the Prophets, Conquering Lion, Di Mello again, Penalonga. I like Di Mello. Cortex, Automne, Colchiques. I also like Cortex. Eliseth Cardoso, Casa de Zezé, Burning Spear, Marcus Garvey, Emilio Santiago Bananera, Harmonium, Dixie, Ednardo El Pessoal do Ceará, Ingazeiras. Oh, well done. I'm clapping myself on the back there, patting myself on the back, whatever. Lula Cortez, Zé Ramalho, Trilha de Sumne, Part 1. João Bosco, Aldir Blanc, De Frente por Crime, Austin Caos, Tincoas, sorry, it's Austin Coas, not Tincaos. Dora, I removed the pat on the back that I gave myself. Comunicao or Comunicao, Camisa Deus, Elio Mateus. João Donato, Patumbalacunde, Henry Mancini, the Pink Panther theme. Brian Eno, over Fire Island. Oh my god, look, I almost made a terrible error there. Fela Kuti, Sensei Wiseness. Cese Pepe, for J. Donna Summer, Love to Love You Baby. And Fela Kuti, Mr. Grammaticalogizationalism. Whoa, fella, what are you doing to me? There you go. That's my 1975 extras. You had just heard me reading a list. But the music is well worth listening to. By the way, I did jazz music for the 50s and 60s, and I will do obviously for the 40s, 30s, and 20s. But I haven't yet added jazz to my 70s playlists. So these extras playlists will be added to. All of them, because they're never ending, because anything I find from 75 or 74 or 73 or 77 that wasn't in the top 40 in the UK, I will add it if I like it. So there you go. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, hit like, share with people who love music, and let me know in the comments what you love about 1975. Remember, you can hear the playlist on Spotify, link in the description. You can hear the radio show on Mixcloud, link in the description. And you can hear the playlist for this 1975 Extras, link in the description. Thanks for listening. Until next time, when I'm going to do 1976. Bye-bye.